Alright, I got some rage in the background. I kind of felt like going back to this game and just stay in the wasteland for a while just to play this game again because it was quite interesting to see what id was trying to do. But yeah, this game didn't really live up to the hype and worship it was getting back in 2011. It really deserves the spot it's in just because of how shallow this game does get. I really didn't like how id tried too hard to play it safely and not let the player have fun with its tools and gadgets. I mean, it does, but I don't like how this game tries too hard to hold your hand and tell you to do this and that before you could really enjoy the game. It's such a shame because this is the game that put id Software's fame right down to the toilet, and it's really up to Doom 4 to wipe away all that shame that this game did to them. I'm using Rage for this video for a specific reason. I want to talk about what Rage really did wrong in my personal opinion, and I'm talking about it in a way where it could be some ideas that could work for their future games. I didn't really like how they seemed cocky when they were releasing development diaries of Rage. Like, I can just go back and watch them and I just kind of like just smile because I could tell that these guys were feeling quite, full of themselves, and they weren't feeling too scared about, competing against other developers when they should, because, this is not the 90s, this is not 2004. I personally think it's because of Doom 3's success kind of made them feel like they were unstoppable, but that was years ago. And Rage pretty much showed id that they're not who they are anymore. I hope this will make id realize they're not living in the 90s anymore, and we'll actually have to really try to make them relevant in today's age. So the linearity of this game, when I first saw walkthrough videos of this game, I was not impressed with the map design, and I felt like this was going to really turn me off, and it kinda does, but I'll get more into that later on. I just want to say that I don't know why FPS games were starting to get more linear all of a sudden, and Doom 3 is pretty much proof of that. Id was starting to abandon a lot more of the complex map design from Doom and Quake. Rage really does feel, more competent against Doom 3 in map design, and I think it could be more linear, I believe, but that is fairly debatable. But not only the maps felt straightforward, Rage's gameplay felt like it was too. The boss fights were really not that interesting, and another thing is the combat engagements. For example, look at the first level. It's just fairly bland since there's nothing interesting going on, and I just felt like it was pretty much there to get you started, or it was basically a tutorial-like level in a way. And that's such a shame, because take a look at Doom 1's level where there's a good amount of exploration. There's also a good amount of action going on too, so I don't really understand why they didn't really try to make it a bit more interesting. Now I'm going back to the linear levels. The last level was so linear and just so straightforward. It just shows off its shallow characteristics, and there were multiple levels where I really did get that feeling also, and it just revealed the true identity of the game. It was so shallow. I mean, the side quests are laughable. Some of them, actually I take it back, most of them don't make any sense in how they work. I remember there's one called Stanley something. It's that one side mission where I only did that one just one time, and it just made no sense why it was in the game. It really felt off-putting too. I mean, this game, it does allow you to carry all weapons, and that is fairly ridiculous to think about it, but it helps the gameplay and it makes it interesting from a first-person shooter standpoint, not like this racing minigame that I was mentioning where I really just don't get the purpose of it. Like, once you try it out, you're just going to be turned off, at least if you have a lot of standards for good gameplay. I really think Rage's biggest flaws was it really sounded cool on paper, but it didn't seem to work as well as they thought it would. Wolfenstein 2009 did similar things to what this game did, but Wolf 2009 was actually well designed and it had an identity. This game didn't, and it does bother me that the lead designer feel like it does. When I first played it, I realized, I had no idea what this game was trying to do, because it was basically trying to do everything, but it wasn't balancing its elements properly. There's a reason why I didn't like this game when it came out, and it took me months upon months until I felt like giving it a go and actually own the game. I wonder what if they hire people like me who's really into great single player FPS experiences just to like play the game and give them some quality feedback, because I'm sure I could have helped this game shaped it better, but I don't know how QAs goes these days. But I really do feel like they should find a way to bring the people who really like these type of games and help it shape for the better. For example, I know 343i is hiring some of the pro Halo players to test its multiplayer component, so Halo 5's multiplayer would be really like top notch, but it would also be really good for competitive play. I would love to do the same for, its software, like whatever game mode they're gonna make me test, I would, test it and have fun. But I think if I ever want to test an id Software shooter, I would most likely want to test the single player portion, because that's why I really like playing, their games. I love the single player portion of it. But, that's just some of my thoughts that I feel like most developers should be doing, or how the QAs should be going, I guess. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys soon.